Hi, Mark. Welcome around the Workstand.
Hey, Susie, how are you this week?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited. By the time we have posted this, I'm gonna maybe see your face in
Yes, we
person.
will. Lots of us will be in person. It's one of the few times a year as a company, as a fully remote company,
Yeah,
that we get parts of the team together. So the client success team is coming together, which both of us reside in that team
yeah,
within, although I wander around a fair amount.
you
So do you.
do. We're
But
always kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We can't quite commit to one team.
we like a little variety in our workday.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
we will all be together here in
Hmm.
Boulder, Colorado for most of the week. So
Yeah.
some folks in support may be a little less available than usual. I certainly will be. You will be.
Hmm.
But it's for a good cause because when we get together,
Hmm.
we learn a lot. And whenever we learn things, that helps us do a better job for Workstand clients.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So of course, still success will still be available if you need them. But yeah, like Mark said, we'll just be maybe a little bit more delayed or uh but yeah, we'll be learning, coming together. It's
Yeah.
very exciting.
But
So
what we
oh,
thought we'd do now is we've thrown a lot of data out lately. These
we have.
episodes with Ryan are rich with data, and a couple of questions have come up. One of those was around, he mentioned Google Trends, has mentioned it a few times. Google Trends is a tool that allows you to look at search volume.
Yeah.
And that's how we know that, for instance, that the more general search bike shop near me, its relationship to more specific terms, such as road bike or a particular brand and model of road bike, has switched a bit. That those
Hmm.
more specific searches are gaining very rapidly, where the more general searches are not, or at least are backing up a bit. And
Hmm.
so, why should anybody care about that? Well, we also talked recently about a good website answering questions, that's really the goal of it. That's kind of how you can tell what questions are being asked. So
Hmm.
if you're curious in your market for the brands you carry, for the services you offer, what are people searching for? How could I answer those questions better? Google Trends, if you just go to Google and put Google space trends, it'll pop up and you can do a little research there. So that's a good way to do that because we've also talked a lot about good SEO. Most of it comes down to, do you have interesting content people care about? And are you maintaining your website? That interesting content part, Google Trends can really help tell you what your customers are interested in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so I think a good point is that everyone has access to this information. You can you can look at any kind of Google search data. Yeah, maybe something's more specific to your area, things like that. But what does this mean for, I guess, like if making or removing any assumptions about what kind of like platform or tools or software a retailer is using, what does this mean and how should retailers make sure that they're well positioned to capitalize on this?
Yeah. Well, we live in the digital part of the world we live in, revolves a lot around search. And that's why we
Mhm.
talk so much about winning search. So, what it means for a merchant that's looking for their website to do a better job for them is that there's tools out there to help you answer the questions that people care about. And so, for instance, in practice, here's how it kind of works. I'm a consumer. I'm interested in bike packing. I don't know why I always pick bike packing. I've never been never been bike packing in my life. I have no desire to go bike packing.
It's cool. It's got a lot of good specific gear.
Somewhere in there, I must want to go bike packing. Anyway, I'm a consumer, so
Hmm.
I'm curious. I start Googling things or input around bike packing. If you're the merchant and you want to be the one that wins that search, you have to have bike packing content on your website. How are
And by
people?
content, do you want to maybe the
Sure. Yeah, good point.
products?
Products, you got to
Yeah.
have the right catalog items. You need to, of course, they need to be current, match what you've got in inventory. Suppliers need to be connected so that you've got a broader offering. But not just products, you need to have some landing page content as well. So, why would people go bike packing? What's fun about it? What happens? What kind of equipment do you need for different levels of trip? So, if you're doing a 1 day, 2 day trip, is that different than 6, 7 day trip? Whatever you're trying to serve your market with, you need content that spells that out, both catalog and non-catalog content. So something like Google Trends can really help you build that content, curate that content so that you're answering the questions on your website relevant to the services and goods you sell, so that when people make those searches, they have a way to connect.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm searching for bike packing and you're a bike shop in my area that doesn't do any bike packing, you probably won't show up for that search very often. But if you want to, you need to follow these steps so that you've got some chance to win that search.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. What about, so we're kind of talking a little bit about, we were really diving into sales volume, sales dollars amount, and electric bikes continues to be kind of a bright spot in bicycle retailer sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that kind of comes as a surprise to anybody. But maybe we kind of dive into what's working on, like, I think from a marketing standpoint, or actions that retailers are taking in order to, one, capitalize on the Google search trends,
Yep.
capitalize on the demand for electric bikes, and kind of, I think that kind of helps explain some of this. Some retailers, unfortunately, are seeing some sales that are lower, but some are seeing them it's flat or up.
Yeah.
So
And it could certainly vary. I mean, maybe your store is really focused around BMX, and BMX right now isn't
right.
being searched for a lot. It's unpopular. So there can be a lot of changes, but e-bikes are interesting in that they have gone up a lot. And I think where there's opportunity for some stores, and some stores that are even selling a lot of e-bikes, is it kind of happened organically. And I don't know that it surprised anybody, but it certainly wasn't something I think everybody was planning on. And because of that, maybe you're not really supporting it in the way that could really help it grow. So either way, whether it's a big part of your business or it's an accidental part of your business, I think what's working around that and other categories that are growing and selling, and our merchants that are seeing trends up in sales, they're investing in the marketing of it so that they can be the solution when people are looking for those things in their market. So, good website management, we're always going to talk about that first. It's the basics, just like in the store. You sweep the floors, you straighten the shelves, you restock, you block you get everything ready, train the staff. Same things need to happen on the website. Do you have the right things on the homepage so that people can find what they want? Is it easy to navigate? Are you finding answers quickly? That's always going to be first. Email marketing. I know people talk about their email boxes being full. Still a very effective tool for capturing sales, both new consumers, that happen to be by the store or on your website that are willing to sign up for an email address that maybe haven't shopped fully with you yet. And from a transactional standpoint, to grow sales within the consumer base that's already doing business with you.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. Sorry to jump in, but I think you think about it from maybe that first kind of group of people that you mentioned. Maybe you have their email address for whatever reason, but they're not as loyal of a customer. That's a great way to kind of send maybe like some more awareness, let them know what you have, what's new. Do they know that you have the selection of electric bikes you have, if we're kind of running with that example?
Yeah.
And then kind of like a remarketing or post-purchase emails. That's incredibly powerful. I think a big piece of the electric bike demand that maybe is surprising people is we don't know, as a traditional independent brick and mortar bike shop, we don't know, or we don't have a relationship with this new consumer. And I think automated emails is a really great opportunity. Maybe someone came in, they got a new cargo electric bike for cruising around town with their kids, or to commute to work, or for so many of the reasons that people are buying electric bikes. But they maybe don't know all the things you have to offer, or they don't have the tools, or you haven't kind of put the building blocks in place to create that relationship. So whether it's inviting them back in for service, maybe it's the kind of the free tune-up checkup that they got with their bike. Maybe it's suggesting some additional accessories. But either way, it's just, I think, really engaging that consumer that you maybe wouldn't have had been in touch with before.
Yeah. And I think the other part of e-bike sales is, we talk about margins a lot. Merchants talk about margins a lot. I don't think the margins are super awesome on e-bikes, but the accessory sales are amazing. And there is a lot of margin there. So both on the first purchase, if it's coming through the website, making sure that you're presenting those add-on sales. The post-purchase emails you're talking about, another great way to, because sometimes these, we say new consumers, they're just not the typical bike shop consumers. A lot of them, not all of them. Certainly there's
Right.
some people that move from a traditional bike to an e-bike, but they may not know what they want and what they need yet. And so staying in touch with them as they grow as a cyclist with this new e-bike is important. So I think that's important. We do the same, we do similar things with Google Ads, although I guess with Google Ads, the ability to reach new, never had any contact with you is a little greater with Google Ads just because of the way those ads work. So those things, all those things and other activities, I mean, we have a lot of agency clients that have pretty strong sales this year, but it doesn't happen by accident.
No, and I think each of these pieces, whether we're looking at kind of website design, maintenance, hygiene, that sort of thing, email marketing, and Google Ads, these aren't powerful enough on their own sometimes in a vacuum. Like these things, it's kind of an ecosystem.
Yeah, very true.
They all work really well together.
Yeah. So. And again, it's just like bikes.
Yeah.
Can't just have the bike. You need some of the stuff that goes with it. You got to know where to ride. You got to have folks to ride with. Got to have a way to service the bike. That same principle applies in marketing your business. It's not, maybe I guess I wish there was one silver bullet that just meant if you do X, Y, and Z, if you X, you win. But it's an X, Y, and Z kind of thing. It just takes more steps. But anyway, we wanted to touch on those things and also let everybody know that we'll be a little less available as a company, or at least part of the company this week. But it's for a good cause.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited. I did, in fact, pick out my outfits yesterday.
I'm surprised you want to talk about that because you got every one of us talking about our outfits for the summit.
I make one joke and then no one can let it go. But
I guess it was a good joke.
I guess. But it's really just shorts and t-shirts. So please don't get their hopes up.
Yeah. We go through that a lot. Like we have a big trip coming soon, and Melissa's planning things and what to wear. And it's really easy for me. It's the same 3 or 4 pairs of shorts and the same 3 or 4 shirts. You guys,
they all go together, all interchangeable.
That's right. They all swap out pretty easily. But everybody knows this if they watch the podcast. It's the same. There's only a handful of shirts that show up on the podcast.
Or t-shirts, yeah, exactly. But I guess if we're gonna see everyone in person, I will have to change out of my pajama pants in the morning. So. Just a little bit of change of pace from the work from home life.
There you go.
A little behind the scenes action for you.
and the Workstand this coming week is in person, which is nice.
Yes.
So we'll be around a physical Workstand together.
Yes. Very excited.
Awesome.
But I guess we'll see you on the Workstand.
We will. See you.